Hello, my name is Eduardo and today I am here with another tutorial. And if you check my previous video, okay, I show you the tutorial for today, that is the change my color app. Okay, basically the idea it is to have an image that changes the color of your pictures. Okay, an app, I mean. So well, for this tutorial I will be using Thunkable, okay, no App Inventor, but you can follow this tutorial using App Inventor or Thunkable or even AppyBuilder or any other similar server, okay, based on App Inventor. Well, so to start, we are going to import some images. I just did it. So I have a background and I have two images that I just prepared. So let's go here to the screen number 1 and we are going to change first center horizontal top, the name of your app, the background image we will use here that one, okay, and you just set this to any icon. I don't have any icon, I will use just the image just for image 2. Screen here in portrait, this is important, and then we are going to show status bar. We are not going to show that thing, and then we are going to go here to the last part that it says title visible, not title visible. Then we're going to use this responsive. Okay, if you basically the idea is that we want the app to respond to the different devices or sizes of the screen devices. Okay, so basically, so if you check my previous tutorial, one of my tutorial, it was about responsive, working with that responsive screen. Okay, well, we have this thing, okay, and it looks quite good. So today I am using my tablet, I am not using my cell phone because I was having some problems with the connection. So let's hope this is working okay. So now well, we have here this. The first thing that we need to do now, it is to start adding the elements. Okay, when we use responsive, just if you haven't checked my tutorial, if you haven't checked this thing, we are going to set the values of all the components based in the %. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to add, it is a layout. We're going to lay out an horizontal arrangement. We are going to rename this layout as color horizontal arrangement, HA. Yes, so we have the horizontal arrangement. Obviously it is not visible. We can just give it a color just to place it. Well, that was really good. This is something I like. You have more options here in colors in the designer than in App Inventor, but well, anyway, so we just give this, but it is covering my beautiful title, so I need to push this thing down. For that I will use an empty image, and this is like a dummy image, so you can rename it if you want, just dummy, and we are going to change its height, not in pixels, in the %. So what about if we push this 22%? So it looks better, so maybe 23%, and I guess it looks better. Now we're going to resize this. Okay, so we will try to make like a square, okay, using just the %. Okay, so that's why we are now using this kind of companion. Okay, and we're going to use 30% of the height, and for the width we are going to use something like 70%. I don't know. No, it's not like a square, so probably 60 here, and then for this one let's set it to 40%. Yeah, it looks quite like a square, a little bit. 65 maybe. Yes, that's okay. So I am okay with that. And now the next thing that we are going to add, if you check the video, okay, that I show you of the app, it is that we need a container for the sliders. So in that case we're going to use another horizontal arrangement, okay, but in this case we're going to use horizontal arrangement for here, and we're going to call it sliders horizontal arrangement, and we're going to insert the horizontal arrangement these sliders. But before that, okay, the horizontal arrangement has to have a vertical arrangement. So this is a container. For this we're going to set the width to fill parent. Now in here we're going to add the sliders, so left, and also we're going to set the sliders horizontal arrangement to the left, and this vertical arrangement probably the width to 50%, because in the other half we want to have a label that it's going to display the information of the colors. So we are going to write in here RGB, that's it, and we just set the font, it's okay, the font, so probably bold, and probably a little bit bigger, something like 20, and the width to 50%. Well, I guess that's okay for now. 80, well, not 80, but 25, I guess 25. So now it is just to display the information. Okay, so well, we have the design, everything is ready, and now we are going to insert the image in here. Now, talking about the image, I need to explain you something. This horizontal arrangement, it will provide the color for your character. So inside this horizontal arrangement, we are going to add a button. The button, we will have the image. We are going to remove the text from the button, and that's it. If you check this color, now it is in there. So we can change the default color for the horizontal arrangement. That means that if you want to change the color of your character, you have to change the color of the horizontal arrangement. So, and also it is a good idea to set the size the same, 40 and 65. 40% times 65%. That's okay. It looks pretty good. Yes? Okay. Now we are almost done. Okay. We are going to go now to the blocks. Here we have the blocks in this part. For the blocks, we are going to start first creating the variable for the colors. Remember that for the colors we have the red, the green, the blue, and the alpha. Okay, so we're going to create here the first one, that is R, and then we are going to set the value, the initial value, to 0. Then we're going to duplicate this one, and then we create the G, that is the green. We're going to set it to 255 just to have a green color for this character at the beginning. Then the other one, the blue, and we're going to set it to 0. And finally we're going to duplicate this one, and we're going to set for the alpha to 255. 255 means that it will be like visible, and 0 will be like invisible, well, basically. So now then we need, sorry, I forgot something very important, the sliders. So we are going to add here in this vertical arrangement the slider number 1, Then we will go for slider number 2, slider number 3, and slider number 4. You can call them, for example, slider R, and then this one slider green or G. Then we go for slider blue, and finally for slider alpha. That's it. So we have sliders, vertical arrangement. We are going to center this, and that's okay. So now for the background color of the sliders, well, you have orange, that's why we cannot see anything. For the red, we're going to set it to red. For the green, we are going to set the color to green. Then this one, it will be blue. And finally, this friend will be something like gray, light gray. Okay. So now, what else? Well, we have these sliders. They are very small right now. So we're going to set the width of these sliders to the 50% of the screen. So that means that it's fill parent, 50%, this is 50%, and finally we have this setting 50%. Now for the initial values, because this is the green color of this guy, it will be like 0 for all of them. The maximum value 255, the minimum value 0, and the position for the first one, that is the red one, let's keep it for the initial part in 0. Then this one maximum 255, 0, and 255 for this because it's a green. Now for the last one, no, this one, it is maximum, it's the same, 255, 0, and this one, that it will be in the position, the initial position for slider B in 0. And finally for slider alpha, we're going to set it to 255, 0, and position 255, and that's it. So this is the initial thing that we have. Okay, now we are going to go now to the blocks, and we're going to set everything. So to do that, we are going to create a procedure. Remember, procedures are just like a series of steps or a group of steps. Now we are going to call it change color. So now for change color, we're going to set this to change the color of the horizontal arrangement, the color horizontal arrangement. Change the color, and then we're going to make a color. Here, colors. And let's see, here we are going to add an extra item for the alpha. Duplicate. Okay, and then we're going to change this. So we're going to make the color from R, G, V, and alpha. Then we just remove these friends. That's it. Now we're going to start like using this procedure in our sliders. So we have to go to the sliders, slider R, and we're going to go when slider R change the position. So we are going to change the variable r, in this case r, that it's the red one, and we are going to change it. We are going to go to math because we want to have round numbers. We are going to use round, and then we are going to get the position of the thumb. Okay, so this position. After that, we have to use the procedure color change, and that's it. Now for the color change, we are going to add something here because we want to see here the information of the color. So we're going to use the label, and we're going to check the text, and we're going to add here a text join, and then we go to colors and we use split. Okay, we're going to split the color, and we're going to add here just like a title, and we just call it RGB, and then equals, that's it. Just pretty simple. And then we're going to use here the color of this horizontal arrangement. So we're going to split the color, and we're going to display it in the label. Okay, so now we are ready just to check it with the first one, that is the R. If you check, we have now this. It is changing, and it's changing the color of our character. Now we're going to duplicate this one, very simple, and we're going to change to G, and then we just change the variable to G. If you check, that's it. Then we just do the same for B, that it's the blue one, and we change the variable blue, and finally we do the same for alpha. Alpha, alpha, alpha. This is the one, and we just make sure everything is working. Colors, oh sorry, I didn't change this to A. So now we have it. Yes, and it's transparent, so that's why we are seeing this background. Okay, so that's basically the idea, guys. Basically the idea. And because this is a button, we can change to another image. Okay, so to do that, we're going to create a list with the images. Okay, so let's call it my images list, or my pictures, or whatever. Then we are going to make the list where in this case we just have two, color change 1 and color change 2. So the first one, it is color change 1 PNG. Then we just duplicate this friend and just change the number to 2. Then we are just going to create a procedure. When I click this, I want to pass to the next image. Well, we are going to create something very simple in this event. And when we click the button, so we're going to check, create a condition. If, okay, we're going to check first the index of the thing that we are that is selected. If this, but sorry, we're going to use the values. We're going to compare values. So if the select list item list, this is not in here, sorry, another mistake. We need to check the index of the thing. Okay, so we have to check is in list, index in list, thing. Yes. So the thing, which is the thing? Well, the image that it's in the button. Thing image. Okay. In which list? In this list. So, and we're going to compare this information. Okay, we're going to check if the index of this current image it is less than the length of the list. The length of the list. Length of the list, sorry. this one. Which list? The same list. So we're going to use my images list. Well, if this is happening like that, I want to change my image if this number is less than that. So I want to change my image, and I will change my image to, from the list I'm going to take another, but the one that I'm going to take, it is based on this thing. From the current index plus 1. So the current index, it is basically this one. If we are in index number 3 and the list is with has 5 elements, well, index that is 3 plus 1, it will be 4. And that's it. Else, that means that if we get to the limit of the list, we are going to set the image of the bottom, set image to this one. We're going to duplicate, and we're going to change this to index and list thing. No, I got a mistake. We're going to reset everything, and we're going to select the first element in the list again. Sorry, it's because I was paying attention to companion. So on the index, it will be 1 from the same list. That's it. Now we are going to try to restart the Thunkable live. Just let me check. Just reset the connection. Thunkable live. So I just have these problems because of my internet connection, I guess. So let's hope this thing works. And we are almost done with the tutorial. Well, not really almost done, but it's okay. Now we are here, we change, and I change to the next image. If you check. Now my list is, this is a list of 2 elements. See, if I click here, I return to the first. Oh, sorry. And that's it. Now, how to add more images? Well, we are going to try to add another image to this, and I will show you the process that I usually do. Okay, there are different ways to do it. I had some tutorials about Inkscape, how to remove or how to use just the colors, the lines, okay? So line art tutorials or these things, okay? Basically it is just to use an image, okay? So for example, this one. And then I'm just going to use here a vectorize bitmap. I just update, and then I just refresh these values to see if I can get something nice. So I just accept, and I have this thing, and then you can start like coloring this thing in GIMP or in here in Inkscape. But today I will show you another way to do it. Okay, you can check my tutorial about making line art. Okay, so I will give you leave this video in the description. Now let's go to GIMP. So here I just pasted the image. So you have 2 options. If your image it has very good quality, well, you just can select the colors and that's it, and remove colors that are not necessary. If not, guys, if not, you have to do you can trace everything using the pen. Okay, I have other tutorial about how to use this kind of pen, okay, to make very good masks, okay, in GIMP. Anyway, the first thing that you need to do before that, it is to create your image. Your image has to be 256 times 256. Okay, so it is recommendable to have it here, or if you want to have a bigger image, 512 times 512. Okay, so just try to use some power of 2 values. Okay, check my other videos about these recommendations about setting your images. So now, well, we have the image 256 times 256. We need to check the image. Okay, so there are some colors that I want to change. Okay, for example, what if I want to change from Kirby? I want to keep I want to change only the shoes, for example. Okay, and I want to leave this purple pink color. Okay, I don't want to change the pink color of Kirby, and I just want to change its shoes or legs or foot or feet or whatever. So well, to do that, we are going to create here a mask. We are going to use the pen tool. Double click in the pen tool and you are in design. Now you maximize. So this is a very simple, a very fast tutorial about making the mask. So we first make a raw mask. Okay, so very not accurate. So let's make one for this, just for the shoes. So don't worry about if it's not very accurate. To close the mask or the path, because it is a path, no mask, we just hold Control and then we just join with the first point, and that's it. Now we are going to use here edit. It will add some points or notes to try to adjust your shapes. So we're going to do that here. Just start adding notes. You can maximize more to be more accurate. So, and we are going to try to stay over the black lines. Okay, so that's the point of this, to be over or on the black line. So let's make this here. We drag in here. That's it. Now we have another leg, so we click on design again and we continue with this. We create first the fast path, just trying to get just the basic shape. That's it. And hold Control, then join, then edit, and we start dragging here or adding nodes as much as you need. Then in here we go here, we just remove this and we are almost done. Now when you finish the path, now we are going to create selection, okay, from path. And if you see, you have this kind of mask. Now you just press in another button just to disappear the path. Now we can go here, okay, and we are going to create we are going to duplicate this layer just to have it as a backup. Then we are going to use this to remove, okay, the I have a problem. So I'm going to just subtract this part from this mask. It was my mistake. Anyway, so that's it. We are ready. We just use the supreme and we delete the color. Okay, and we have the lines. So again, so we have these lines, and then we're going to supreme these things. Okay, so we're going to do that. So we are going to, you know what, instead of that, we are going to go here. Oh yes, we are going to delete supreme. Now we're going to fill this with another color just to see. We're going to create an empty layer plus here, and we just fill. For example, if we want to have something like this, we're going to fill, and that's it. Now we're going to see the original, and if you check, we have some shadows. Okay, so we have some shadows, and also we have some other elements. So for the shadows, you can make this. So this is just to test, okay? So we are going to delete this, the color, with the mask that we have in there, and you can start like coloring this thing using here a brush or the airbrush. Okay, so we can color, and we can get the colors from here. For example, you can get a dark color. This is a dark color. Okay, so don't think about pink. It is just a dark color. So to do that, we are going to use here dark color like gray, not very gray, something like that. And then we are going to start like painting this part. You can do it manually, and you can start like that. So for following this thing. So I am using the mask just to protect the rest of the drawing. So you can just change the opacity to see better, and that's it. We do the same for this. That's it. Now this kind of thing, it is something like white, because it is like a highlight. We are going to use here color white, but we reduce the size of the brush like that. But you know what, let's do it in another layer. Yes, I guess it's better to do it in a new layer. Here again, I'm just in a new layer. I will explain you why. Now let's suppose that you have here a color like is like blue in the background. We are going to fill the background. We are going to remove this. And now these are the shoes of Kirby when we change the color in what's the name? In Thunkable or App Inventor. So the idea is that this is going to be a little, we're going to export this as something transparent. It will give the illusion, okay? So even though this thing looks like a little bit weird, you can just change the gray to make it a little bit darker, or you can go here and you can use this and try to adjust. If not, you just change the, okay, now it's darker, and then we just control the opacity. For the other one, if you see, we just make it a little transparent, and that's it. So if we change the color to something like green or yellow, green, so let's change this to green, the background. If you see, that is the thing that we are going to obtain in App Inventor. Okay, now what else? We need something extra here. If you check the mask, it looks a little bit horrible. So we are going to remove this mask, select nothing, then we are going to select here alpha from selection, and we have this kind of thing. So we are going to make it bigger, 4, 5 or 6, that's it. And we are going to change in here. Under this one we are going to create a new layer, and in here we are going to fill this with white, for example, for this image. But we are going to go to selection, feather. We are going to select something like 8, and we fill this. Select nothing, and then you see, hey, come on, I am just like, I can see this thing. Well, don't worry, because we have the path. Remember the path? Here you have the options. You go here, you click right click, and you select path. Then you select the path, and you say path to selection. And then we go here, and we just remove from this thing, okay, and then we can see the color. Now what else? The next thing that we need, it is to fill this area that is around Kirby. Okay, so now let's imagine this part. So select nothing. So we are going to create a new layer, and for this new layer we're going to fill it with something more like that. I don't know, for Kirby, something like that. We're going to fill it. We have this, and now we have to remove these things that we have over there. And again, we can go here to path. We path to selection. Then we select the layer, this layer, okay, the background color, and we just remove using Supreme, and that's it. Then don't pay attention to this one, it was just to test. If we have this layer, we can remove this one, and then we can add another one just to try if this is like working. Select nothing, and we just fill it with a color, and that's it. We have the green. So that means that the image is ready. So we have to export this image like that. So now, to make it more interesting, you can add something extra, like some effects or whatever. Okay, for example, I can add here maybe clouds, fog, and then we just wait a little bit. And yes, clouds, some white clouds. And we just move them here. That's it, not very visible. And also you have to remove them using the path, okay, to clean this area. Okay, so just to clean area, but this is not very visible. I guess instead of this one, we will add here artistic, and we're going to apply this. Okay, and then we just feather it out, or we pixel it. No, we just feather. Blur, Gaussian, and it looks okay. So we are ready to go to this, to return to App Inventor. Also, you can add a border like this. You just drag this kind of mask, and then you just select invert, and then you just fill it with white color. Edit, select nothing, and then you have that. Also, you can add a shadow here, drop shadow, allow resizing now, and you have a shadow over there. And you can reduce even the shadow just to make it less, and you can add the name or whatever you want. Okay, and that's it. So when the image is ready like this, okay, so just make sure that it is not empty, this thing. Okay, so we have the transparent area that we want to change, okay, with the shadows selected. So we have the shadows. So also for the shadows, you can make them like a little bit Gaussian blur, or something like 10, 13, to make it more smoother. For these ones, not very strong for the highlights, so you use probably 5. That's it. Okay, we're ready to go. So we export this and we go to our working folder. We change the name now to color change 3. We export. That's it. Now we return to Thunkable. Then we are going to import or upload this image, the new image, that it has this number, consecutive number 1, 2, and 3. We open it, and now we are going to add it to our list. We duplicate this one, we just change to 3, and then that's it. We go here and we have Kirby, and it looks wonderful. But it's not changing the color because I forgot to remove this. Okay, so remember, you have to change this to transparent or eliminate this because it was just for testing purposes. Again, we just export it, and then we just upload it. Sorry for that. We just upload. Yes, we are going to replace, and we just wait for Kirby to be ready. I guess we need to refresh the screen. We go here, we write anything just to refresh the screen. We have Mike. Yes, and now we change this to something like that. Okay, and basically that is the idea about how to make this thing. Okay, so my recommendations: when you get your images, you cannot change many things in your image. Some things have to be like solid. For example, if you check here Mike, we have color for this, color for the background, okay, and this is the area that we want to change, the transparent area. You can add also shadows, like this thing that I just added in here that is not very visible, okay, just to make this look a little bit darker. So now, for example, for the cat also, I add the cat, just the lines, but these things were like with color because I just wanted to color the body, not even the horn. Okay, so probably we can add another one, but I guess that's enough. You have the idea about what you need to do. Okay, so you have highlights, then you have shadows, then you have main image, and of course, well, in this case I just have this kind of halo around Kirby, then the shadow, and then this is just the original file, and then I have background BG, and this was just to test it looks okay when you change the color or give color to this area. Okay, well, I guess that's the main idea about this changing color app, and this is my first tutorial for Thunkable that it's also working for App Inventor and for AppyBuilder, for example, or any other kind of similar server based on App Inventor. Okay, my name is Eduardo, and I hope you like this. Okay, if you want to have the source, the images that I use for this tutorial, so I will share them with you if we can get this video to 20 likes. Okay, well, that was all. My name is Eduardo. I will see you next time. Goodbye.